First off, my name is Adam Infante, I-N-F-A-N-T-E. I'm the Chief Deputy of the Dallas County Sheriff's Office. I'm here on behalf of Sheriff Chad Leonard, who is at a family emergency and couldn't be here. I'm joined by Special Agent in Charge Adam DeCamp of the Department of Criminal Investigation and Sergeant Jim Archer with the Perry Police Department. This morning, about a little bit before 5 a.m., Perry Police Department was involved with a reported shooting in the city limits. Subject had shot the back window out of a vehicle on the other side of town here. Our deputies responded to assist Perry PD, and over the next hour and a half to 2 hours, they were looking for a suspect that we've identified as Jeremiah Messner, M-E-S-S-N-E-R, 30 years old, from Perry, Iowa. Mr. Messner was armed with a handgun. Deputies and Perry police officers were negotiating and speaking with him in a rolling standoff along the bike trail in this wooded area behind us. Eventually, they got him into this field, and through their negotiation, they offered up some items to get him to drop the weapon. Mr. Messner did put the weapon down to retrieve the items as part of the negotiation, and then as we went in to effect an arrest, Mr. Messner made it back to the weapon. A struggle ensued, and a Perry police officer, the chief of the Perry Police Department, Eric Vaughn, was shot in the leg. Deputies deployed tasers on Mr. Messner and eventually subdued him and took him into custody. Sheriff's Office will be handling, we just managed the scene and assisted Perry. The DCI is here to investigate the actual shooting event and take over because of our deputies and officers being involved. And Sergeant Vaughn will address any questions related to Chief Vaughn. And we'll answer a couple questions at the end.
What items were given to try to get him to put the weapon down?
It was a lighter. You want to talk about it?
Yeah, so Chief Eric Vaughn was airlifted down to a hospital in Des Moines. He sustained a single gunshot wound to his upper thigh. He's currently doing well. He's in good spirits, and he's expected to be released tomorrow. So very fortunate at this time that that's all that really happened. So so that's what I can update you at this time on his condition.
At what proximity was Vaughn shot at? Was it in close range with the suspect?
From what we've gathered from officer statements and stuff, it was at a very close range, yes.
And how many officers and deputies were out there responding to the scene?
There was approximately 5 or 6 deputies and officers in the struggle with Mr. Messner.
Is it clear why he shot out the back window on the other side of town at this point?
No.
Any word on charges for Messner, or is it a little too early for that?
Yep.
Yeah, so the investigation is ongoing. We have a lot of interviews that need to be conducted. We need to review a lot of body cam footage and other surveillance from the area. So it's going to be just a little bit before we get any official charges filed in this case. But we do anticipate there will be some charges.
Were there any injuries to Mr. Messner?
He was transported to the hospital. I'm not aware of any injuries that he sustained, though.
Any past criminal history with him?
Not that I can talk about right now.
Any other questions? Thank you, guys.
Did officers have to shoot at Messner at any point during this?
No officers discharged any firearms in this whole event. And I'd just like to add, from the Sheriff's Office perspective, we're very happy that Chief Vaughn's injuries appear to be sustained, and he's going to be okay. He's a good guy that we've worked with for many, many years, and we're happy to hear that he's going to be okay.
How long was the duration of this whole event?
The actual event started about 4:57 this morning. They caught up to him between 6 and 6:30 a.m. And then that rolling negotiation kind of standoff thing lasted until about 7:04 when shots were fired.
Why was a lighter offered as the item to try to get him to turn the gun down?
I don't know. Through the negotiation, he must have requested a lighter for some reason. Maybe he wanted to have a cigarette. I don't know. But it was offered, and it did work to a certain extent.
Was he walking along the bike trail or riding along the bike trail, or?
More of a run. He was actually trying to evade law enforcement.
Can you give us an idea of where exactly Police Chief Vaughn was shot in terms of this field, or?
Yeah. See where that silver SUV is?
Yeah.
That's approximately where this whole event concluded.
And only one total shot fired by Messner?
I think it's too early to say at this point. I'm not sure.
Obviously, at least one.
Yes. Yeah, that'd be fair to say. Anything else? Thank you guys very much.
everyone.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.